What if I told you that some cars aren't just machines? They're rolling pieces of art, worth more than private jets or luxury mansions. From diamond-encrusted exteriors to engines so powerful they sound like thunder. Today, we're diving into the 15 most expensive cars in the world as of 2025. These aren't just vehicles. They're symbols of power, prestige, and sometimes pure vanity. And trust me, by the time we reach number 1, you'll wonder, is this really a car or is it something far greater? But before we get into it, if you love seeing how the ultra-wealthy spend their fortunes, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell icon so you never miss our deep dives into luxury, extravagance, and everything in between. Alright, buckle up. Let's count down from number 15 to the single most expensive car on the planet. 15. Ferrari LaFerrari Aperta, $2.2 million. At number 15 sits the Ferrari LaFerrari Aperta, a car that's as rare as it is breathtaking. Released in 2016, only a handful of these open-top masterpieces exist, making them almost impossible to spot on the road. The Aperta combines a V12 engine with an electric motor, producing nearly 950 horsepower. That's not just power, it's poetry in motion. What makes it so valuable isn't only its performance, but its symbolism. Ferrari built the Aperta to celebrate its 70th anniversary. For collectors, it's not just a car, it's a historic artifact. The one says, "I don't just have money, I own a piece of Ferrari's soul." 14. Aston Martin Valkyrie, $3 million. Coming in at number 14 is the Aston Martin Valkyrie, a car that looks like it was pulled straight from a science fiction movie. Created in partnership with Red Bull Racing, this hypercar pushes the limits of engineering. Its aerodynamic design practically glues it to the road, while the naturally aspirated V12 engine screams with a sound so intense it feels more like a fighter jet than a car. Inside, you don't sit. You're strapped in like a Formula One driver, and that's exactly what Aston Martin wanted, a race car for the streets. Only 150 units were ever made, ensuring that those who own it aren't just wealthy, they're part of an elite automotive brotherhood. 13. Bugatti Veyron Vivera by Mansory, $3.4 million. At number 13, we meet a car that's as much about excess as it is about performance. The Bugatti Veyron Vivera by Mansory. The Veyron itself was already legendary, once the fastest car in the world. But Mansory, a tuning house famous for outrageous modifications, decided legendary wasn't enough. They rebuilt it with a new carbon fiber body, aggressive lines, LED lights, and interiors dripping in fine leather and carbon trim. This is not just transportation, it's intimidation on wheels. A car like this doesn't blend into traffic. It dominates it, and at $3.4 million, it's one of the most exclusive Bugattis ever built. 12. Lykan Hypersport, $3.4 million. The Lykan Hypersport, a car so futuristic it became a Hollywood star. You might remember it flying between skyscrapers in Fast and Furious 7. Built in Lebanon by W Motors, the Hypersport is most famous for its headlights encrusted with diamonds. Yes, actual diamonds. Buyers could even customize them with rubies, sapphires, or emeralds. It also packs a twin-turbo flat-six engine, delivering 780 horsepower, pushing it to 240 miles per hour. But let's be honest, the diamonds are what set it apart. This is less about practicality and more about making a statement. When you turn on your headlights, the world sparkles. 11. Pagani Huayra Roadster BC, $3.5 million. At number 11 is the Pagani Huayra Roadster BC, a car that feels less like engineering and more like sculpture. Horacio Pagani, the founder, has always believed that a car should be both beautiful and brutal. The Roadster BC embodies that idea perfectly. With a Mercedes-AMG twin-turbo V12 engine producing 791 horsepower, it's blisteringly fast. But the real magic lies in its craftsmanship. Every bolt, every panel, every interior detail feels like it belongs in a museum. Pagani only built 40 units, each one tailored to its owner. At $3.5 million, it's proof that cars can be rolling art galleries. 10. Lamborghini Veneno Roadster, $4.5 million. Breaking into the top 10 is the Lamborghini Veneno Roadster, one of the most radical designs Lamborghini has ever unleashed. The Veneno looks less like a car and more like a spaceship designed for battle. Sharp lines, dramatic aerodynamics, and an exhaust note that sounds like fire erupting from a volcano. Powered by a 6.5-liter V12 with 740 horsepower, it rockets from 0 to 60 in just 2.9 seconds. Only 9 were ever built, making it one of the rarest Lamborghinis in history. When one sold at auction, it fetched over $8 million, double its original price. For billionaires, this isn't just a purchase, it's bragging rights on wheels. 9. Koenigsegg CCXR Trevita, $4.8 million. At number 9, the Koenigsegg CCXR Trevita. Even among hypercars, this one stands apart. Its name, Trevita, means three whites, referencing its unique carbon fiber finish that shimmers like diamonds under the sun. Koenigsegg developed a special process to achieve this effect, and it was so complicated they ended up building only two cars. Yes, just two in existence. Under the hood, a 1,018 horsepower engine capable of pushing it past 250 miles per hour. Boxing legend Floyd Mayweather famously bought one, showing the world that when you've conquered the ring, this is the kind of car you buy to conquer the streets. 8. Bugatti Divo, $5.8 million. Sliding into number 8 is the Bugatti Divo, a car built for those who think the Chiron just wasn't enough. While the Chiron is about raw speed, the Divo emphasizes handling. With sharper aerodynamics and aggressive weight reduction, it slices through corners like a scalpel. Only 40 units were produced, each costing $5.8 million. The design is sleek, the interior luxurious, and the performance utterly savage. For collectors, the Divo isn't just a car, it's the evolution of Bugatti's vision. 7. Mercedes-Maybach Exelero, $8 million. Number 7 brings us the Mercedes-Maybach Exelero, a one-of-a-kind masterpiece. Commissioned in 2004 by Fulda, a tire company, to test high-performance tires, the Exelero turned into something far greater, a symbol of Maybach's limitless craftsmanship. Powered by a twin-turbo V12, it reaches 218 miles per hour, despite weighing nearly 3 tons. But performance is only half the story. Its design, long, dramatic, and almost intimidating, commands respect wherever it goes. At $8 million, it remains one of the most iconic one-off cars in history. Jay-Z even featured it in one of his music videos, cementing its place in pop culture. 6. Bugatti 110, $9 million. At number 6 is the Bugatti 110, a tribute to Bugatti's legendary EB110 from the 1990s. The name literally means 110 in Italian, marking the anniversary of the company. But don't let its heritage fool you. This is a modern monster. With an 8.0-liter W16 engine producing 1,600 horsepower, it rockets from 0 to 60 in just 2.4 seconds. Bugatti made only 10 of these, each one instantly snapped up by billionaires and collectors. At $9 million, the 110 is living proof that nostalgia can be incredibly expensive. 5. Rolls-Royce Sweptail, $13 million. Breaking into the top 5, we find the Rolls-Royce Sweptail, a car that redefines the word custom. Commissioned by an anonymous billionaire, the Sweptail took nearly 5 years to design and build. Inspired by luxury yachts, it features a sweeping roofline, handcrafted interiors, and details so specific they border on obsession. It's not just a car, it's a personal statement, a one-off creation built to match its owner's exact taste. At $13 million, the Sweptail is less about speed and more about exclusivity. It proves that sometimes the rarest luxury is individuality itself. 4. Pagani Zonda HP Barchetta, $17.5 million. At number 4, the Pagani Zonda HP Barchetta, one of the rarest supercars ever created. The design is jaw-dropping. No roof, partially covered rear wheels, and a stance that looks aggressive yet elegant. Horacio Pagani built only 3 of these cars, making them nearly mythical in the automotive world. Its naturally aspirated V12 engine produces 760 horsepower, delivering an experience that's raw, pure, and unforgettable. At $17.5 million, the Barchetta isn't just a car, it's an automotive unicorn. 3. Bugatti La Voiture Noire, $19 million. Cracking into the top 3 is the Bugatti La Voiture Noire, or the Black Car. Unveiled in 2019, it was built as a one-off tribute to Bugatti's legendary Type 57 SC Atlantic. Sleek, sinister, and impossibly beautiful, it looks more like a moving sculpture than a machine. Its 1,500 horsepower W16 engine delivers blistering speed, but the true value lies in its uniqueness. Only one was ever made, and it was instantly sold to a mystery buyer rumored to be soccer star Cristiano Ronaldo. At $19 million, it remains one of the most expensive new cars ever sold. 2. Rolls-Royce Boattail, $28 million. At number 2, the Rolls-Royce Boattail. This is more than a car, it's an event. Designed to resemble a luxury yacht on wheels, the Boattail features a deck that opens up like butterfly wings, revealing a hosting suite complete with a refrigerator, champagne flutes, and even parasols for shade. The Rolls-Royce Boattail is not just a car, it's a masterpiece of coach building, the art of creating a one-of-one automobile tailored to a billionaire's desires. Inspired by luxury yachts, its sweeping rear deck opens like butterfly wings to reveal a hosting suite with silver cutlery, crystal champagne flutes, and even a parasol, turning the car into a private seaside escape. Only 3 Boattails were ever commissioned, each rumored to be owned by some of the wealthiest families on the planet, including music royalty. Priced at $28 million, it remains the most expensive new car ever built. The boat tail isn't simply transportation, it's a rolling symbol of prestige, exclusivity, and ultimate personalization, proving that for the ultra-rich, a car can be both a journey and a destination. Only 3 were ever produced, each customized for its billionaire owner. At $28 million apiece, it's a car built not for speed, but for lifestyle. The kind of vehicle you park at the French Riviera to remind everyone that you've arrived. 1963 Ferrari 250 GTO, $70 million. Finally, at number 1, the 1963 Ferrari 250 GTO, valued at a jaw-dropping $70 million. Unlike the modern hypercars we've seen so far, this isn't about futuristic technology, it's about heritage. Only 36 GTOs were ever built, and each one is a legend in its own right. Powered by a V12 with 300 horsepower, it might not sound impressive by today's standards, but in the 1960s, it dominated the racing world. The Ferrari 250 GTO is more than just a car. It's the Mona Lisa of the automotive world. Built between 1962 and 1964, only 36 were ever made, making it one of the rarest machines on Earth. Each one tells a story of racing glory, roaring down tracks like Le Mans and Tour de France, cementing its legendary status. With its curvaceous bodywork, front-mounted V12 engine, and timeless Italian craftsmanship, the 250 GTO represents the peak of Ferrari's golden era. In 2018, one sold for an astonishing $70 million, setting the record for the most expensive car ever sold at auction. Owning one isn't about driving, it's about holding a priceless artifact of motorsport history, where heritage, exclusivity, and sheer beauty converge into perfection. The Ferrari 250 GTO is more than just a car. It's the Mona Lisa of the automotive world. Built between 1962 and 1964, only 36 were ever made, making it one of the rarest machines on Earth. Collectors prize it not for speed, but for rarity and history. Owning one isn't just about money, it's about status. It means you possess a piece of automotive immortality. From diamond-encrusted headlights to billion-dollar nostalgia, these cars prove one thing: luxury isn't about necessity, it's about possibility. For billionaires, these aren't just vehicles, they're thrones on wheels, each telling a story of artistry, power, and extravagance. So, which of these cars would you choose if money was no object? The diamond-studded Lycan? The yacht-inspired Rolls-Royce? Or would you go old school with the $70 million Ferrari GTO? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget, like, share, and subscribe to join us as we explore the world of unimaginable luxury. Until next time, drive safe, or in this case, dream big.